What is up, YouTube? Favros here with a Final Fantasy XIV Samurai Patch 7.01 Rough and Ready Guide. Let's get to it, everybody. Quick introduction before we get into the nitty-gritty here. If you aren't familiar with who I am, and it's your first time at the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Favros. I've been a Samurai main in Final Fantasy XIV since Stormblood. It's my favorite job, by far, in the game, really. And I've been playing it since it came out. I've always prided myself on doing whatever challenges I can in the game, whether those be parsing content like Extreme, Savage, even Ultimates, soloing deep dungeons, Criterion. If there's something that I can challenge myself to do on Samurai, I do it. I've been working really hard since Dawn Trail came out, learning the class, and been trying to get my FF logs up, and I recently got 99s in both EXs. So I told myself when I did this, I was going to officially make a Samurai guide, because I would feel like I could speak with confidence in getting you guys to a top 1% level with the job. I don't claim to be the best, but I claim to be able to get you to where I got, because if I can do it, you can do it, and I can teach you how. So that's the perspective I'm going with for this video. We've been kicking ass on Samurai, and I'm here to help. So let's get into it. This coincided perfectly with today's patch, because a lot of people have been asking me, well, one, hey Favros, how do you like Samurai Dawn Trail Edition? But two, hey Favros, what changed with patch 7.01? Which is the real reason I want to make this video, because some stuff did change. If you didn't know, today, at time of recording, July 16th, we had patch 7.01. The normal mode raids came out in 14, and there were also some quality of life changes made to some jobs, and some jobs got outright buffed. But if we control F and go to Samurai here, this is big. Tendo Setsugeka recast time has been reduced from 3.2 to 2.5 seconds, same as Kaishi Setsugeka, or Tendo Kaishi Setsugeka. So what this means is this: anyone who was playing Samurai prior to today noticed that there was this arbitrarily long GCD when you press Madare after you Mechioed and you got the special Tendo Setsugeka. They were very, very slow, and this created a delay in our rotation, which made it to where we didn't need filler like we did in Endwalker. Well, now this delay is gone, and you're doing 2 of these every time you Mechio. So you're doing 2 of these a minute, and that's 0.7 seconds times 2, 1.4 seconds, taken out every minute. So that means we're 1.4 seconds faster now, and it really feels like we're even a little bit more faster than that, but the math says 1.4 seconds, yeah? So this means we have to add filler back in our rotation. What does that mean? That means, my friends, that Hagakure is good again. Last patch, we weren't using Hagakure at all on bosses, and now you do. So I'm gonna walk you guys through some key points on the Icy Veins Samurai guide. And then I'm gonna demonstrate how to do this stuff in the game. But let's set the stage here. So this is the Icy Veins Samurai guide. A link to this guide will be in the video description. And if you click on the DPS rotation bit, it'll tell you about the opener. And you'll scroll down, it'll tell you about the cooldown phase, odd minute burst, filler. This is new as of today. Like I said, since that Tendo Setsugeka GCD is faster now, we need filler to maintain the balance and alignment of our 1 minute and subsequently 2 minute burst intervals. We want all our best stuff to be happening when the raid buffs are out on that 2 minute mark. So that's why you need filler, because if you don't do filler, then your things will drift ahead. They'll be early compared to the raid buffs, and then eventually over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes throughout a fight, they'll drift out of raid buffs. So this is why you do extra filler to create delays now to maintain our alignment that we had naturally last patch. So it says here, if you have a 2 1.4 GCD speed, which is what I do. This is if you have a 677 to a 783 skill speed in the game on your samurai. That's a 28 GCD per minute loop, requiring 2 filler GCDs. So a 2 filler tells you right here would be a Hakaze and a Yukikaze, and then Hagakure that. If you're faster, you might need a 3 filler, which would be like a Hakaze Shifu Kasha, and then Hagakure that 3 GCD Sen that you built up. Personally, I love this, by the way. I love when there's a filler phase, because it lets you creatively, like, micromanage this based on your downtime in the fight. So, at this skill speed, it's telling you you'll need to do a 2 GCD filler if you have perfect uptime in between the odd and the even minute burst. If you have perfect uptime. But let's say you're doing a fight which like loses you 2 GCDs of uptime due to mechanics, then you can just cut this out because you don't have to do the filler of 2 GCDs because you lost 2 GCDs of uptime. So without getting too long-winded about this, I honestly think this is awesome and a very creative form of skill expression within the job. So that's just an explanation of the filler, but there's a couple other things I want to point out before I show you guys the opener and do like a 3-minute rotation on the dummy. Since we are faster now, the strength potion is on the first GCD. I want to point that out. Also, one thing that I didn't talk about in my last video is that you can use Gyouten, which is your gap closer, your charge. This has the same potency per Kenki as Shinten. And when you do your burst, you can often like end with 10 Kenki left. And this happens on the 2-minute intervals as well. And you can use Gyouten to spend that 10 Kenki in the raid buff window and get raid buff benefit out of that extra 10 Kenki that you couldn't spend on Shinten because you didn't have enough. So I wanted to point out, Potion has changed to the first GCD. Gyouten is good to use in the opener. And the rest is the same. And then we're going to continue doing the same odd minute that we do. The even minute is going to be like the same format as the odd minute. And we're going to start each like minute, quote unquote, with 3 Sen banked. We're gonna use Mekio, Tendo, then do a 3 GCD Sen finisher like Gecko or Kasha, then Bana, then Gecko Kasha again, then manually build the Yukikaze, then Madare. And it's the same thing on the even minute. You start with the 3 Sens, Tendo, Gecko, Bana, but then you can add in the Namakiri and Keishi Namakiri. And then Gecko Kasha, and then manually Yukikaze, and then Madare. So we can do the even the same as the odd, the same way I described in my last video, but the opener is going to be a little bit different. We're going to add in a Gyouten, we're going to pot on the first GCD, and we're also going to add a Yukikaze filler because my skill speed falls into this range. So without blabbering too much, let's jump into that. And then I got some treats for you guys who stick around until the end of the video. So stay tuned. I got some tips and tricks to round out the end of the video with you. Just to show you my gear before we start, 699 skill speed that was in that range like I was talking about. I-706 because I got the 710 head and boots from normal raids today. The other left side is 700, 710 weapon. All 710 accessories from EX2 besides one 700 ring. Also, another tip I start doing in the opener now is I use my Mekio with 14 seconds left in the pre-pull countdown. I was using it, like last patch I was using it with 5 seconds left, and that's honestly not optimal. You can use it up to 14 seconds in advance pre-pull. And the logic is that you still have enough time to fully utilize it in your opener, but it's 10 seconds earlier than I was doing last patch. And if the fight ends 10 seconds earlier, that means my Mekio will happen to be off cooldown because I used it 10 seconds earlier pre-pull. So maybe I get an extra usage in like rare cases. So I'm gonna do a countdown 20, and then we're gonna Mekio at like 15-14, And then I'll just show you guys the opener in like 3-minute rotation and walk you through it as we're doing it here. So without further ado, let's go. Alright, so there's the 15, so I can Mechio now. I'll true north around like 3 seconds or something and sprint as well. Potion first GCD. Then the Iki Shoten, build the 3 Sen. Tendo, Senai, Tendo, Mechio again. Get the Zanshin in there. Put the dot up. Do the Namakiris. Spend the Shoha. Build the 2 Sen. Send that Gyoten. And then watch, we're gonna get exactly 25 Kenki here. Spend it on the Sheet 10. Tendo. Tendo, watch the potion. Boom. That last Tendo is the last thing that is in that strength potion. Okay. So, flawless opener. That's what you guys should be striving for there. If you're at, again, 699 skill speed or 2.14 GCD. Now I'm going to build these 3 Sen, spend it. Then I'm going to build 3 Sen again. And then we're gonna Mechio and do the 1-minute reopener. And you're gonna see the dot is we're gonna refresh the dot like pretty shortly after it falls off here. We know the 1 minute's coming up because our Senai's almost done. We're gonna try to use that as soon as we can. Spend our Shoha. Dot is falling off right now, we're reapplying it. And then we finish off this 1 minute with Madare. Okay, now we are in between the odd going to the next even minute burst. So I need to Hagakure a Yukikaze here. So I'm gonna build these 3 Sen, spend it, and then I'm gonna build a Yuki, and I'm gonna Hagakure it. So here comes that. See, there it is. There it goes. Now that's gonna align me with my next dot falling and in the 2-minute burst. I'm gonna spend my Kenki. Iki Shoten's coming off cooldown here. I'm gonna spend the Shoha. Here comes the 2-minute. We start with 3 Sen, Mechio. Tendo, Senai, Tendo. Build the Sen. Look at this dot refresh. It's perfect. Bam. Right as it fell. Namakiris after that. Bam, bam. Send the other Shoha. Do that charge. Send the Shinten. And it was 0 Kenki and a Madare. Alright. So that was a little, that was like a 2-minute target dummy there. We did the opener. And then we did the 1-minute reopener. And then we did the 2-minute. So I did the opener, then the odd burst, and then the even burst for you. So, and then Samurai will just loop from there. So after that even burst, you'll do another odd. And then after that, you'll do another even. And that's just named after the minute in the fight you're in. So like the opener is minute 0, and then the 1 minute, you know, reopener it's an odd number, and then the 2-minute is an even when your Iki Shoten comes up 120 seconds after, or 2 minutes after your opener. And you just loop from there. Now remember, you don't Hagakure a Yukikaze every minute. You do not do it every minute. You do it after every odd minute. This is critical. That's all you need to do. So you're pretty much doing 1 Yukikaze every 2 minutes. And just do it when you're approaching your next 2-minute burst. That's how you know to do it. When you're on the way to the next 2-minute, Hagakure a Yukikaze. If you're at my skill speed. But if you're faster, then you might need to Hagakure Akasha instead. And remember, if the purpose of the Hagakureing the Yukikaze is because it introduces 2 GCDs of delay into your rotation for alignment. But remember, if mechanics introduce that delay, then you do not have to do it anyway with Yukikaze. So this is something you will have to constantly monitor and think critically about on the fly in order to maintain perfect alignment and get the most damage out of your samurai. And that's something I've been able to do pretty well, and that's why my logs have been as good as they are this patch. All right, so we discussed the changes, demonstrated the opener, the even and the odd burst, showed you guys my gear. Now for a couple little tips and tricks to end you guys on. So, tips and tricks section. What is something that I think a lot of samurais could do better? And that is Shoha. Shoha, but also Zanchin and Namakiri a little bit, but to a lesser extent. The reason I think Shoha a lot of samurais can use better is this. You don't have to use Shoha as soon as you get these 3 diamonds filled up. You can actually hold it until the next time that you were going to cast an Iaijutsu, whether that be Higanbana or Madare or whatever. And it's really at no cost to you. You want to land them in raid buffs, and you never want to overcap. You never want to like be at 3 and not use it and then do another Iaijutsu, because that's wasting one of these diamonds, which is wasting potency. But here's what samurais aren't really, I think, maximizing. It's really good if you can hit multiple targets with this. And like, obviously people know that, but they might not think about applying it in a difficult raid encounter. Like, so Shoha and Shoha 2 there used to be a single target and a AoE variant of this one move, but in Dawn Trail they combined them into one move. So the single target like version, quote unquote, also AoEs now. Like, they're both one and the same. It does single target damage, but it just automatically AoEs in a straight line. And so if you can find applications to delay this slightly and hit an extra thing, you always want to do that, because it'll be maximizing the potency you get out of this skill. So for example, on EX2 or on EX1, excuse me, the bird, I got a clip here where I learned that during the nail phase, you know, 3 nails spawn, 1 center and 1 on each corner of the arena, and most of the time groups will start DPSing the one in the corner. But I learned that you can stand on the one in the middle, target the one in the corner, Shoha it, and it'll hit both. Check this out. I'll play it in slow motion for you. So the nail phase is about to start. So I'm rolling my GCD here, and watch. I keep rolling my GCD. So I roll my GCD on the middle one, I target the far one, I Shoha, and look. I don't know if you could tell, but it says Shoha right here and some numbers, and it says Shoha right here and some numbers. So I didn't get double potency because the skill does have damage fall off. It says it does 65% less for all remaining enemies. So I got like a Shoha and a third or so, just bonus extra for free, because I did this little maneuver. Let me show you. You got to be kind of fast to do it, but I'll show you again real quick, because you want to make sure you don't stall your GCD when you do it. So you roll the GCD, target the other one, Shoha, and then I ended up targeting that middle one again to roll my GCD again before I got over here. So you got to be kind of quick. I'll show it to you full speed once, and then we'll move on. But the point is just to be on the lookout for moments like these when you are playing. And because earlier in the clip, I'm just fighting Valley, right? And then I could use my Shoha right now, because I'm at 3. I could just use it on the boss, but I'm gonna get more potency out of it if I save it temporarily and use it by hitting 2 nails instead of 1 boss. So here it is, full speed. Bam, there goes, hit both. You barely see it full speed, but totally worth. All right, tip number 2 of things that I think samurais could use to do a little better, or at least a tip that you guys should keep in your back pocket. And that is that, let's go back to this opener. And even the opener I demonstrated for you, you see how it says Gecko as the first GCD? It doesn't have to be. You can do Kasha as the first GCD, but only do Kasha as the first GCD if there is a reason for it. Because Gecko's giving you a damage buff, right? It gives you, you know, that thing that makes you do like 10% more damage or whatever. 13% more damage. It used to be 10. Now it's been 13 for a while, though, I think. Gives you Fugetsu. So, that's really good because you get the 13% more damage on the subsequent Kasha. But if you know that Kasha is going to get you an extra GCD throughout the fight, the Kasha is better. Because that extra GCD, I guarantee you, is more potency than the 13% on this Kasha. So you might say, well, okay, Fars, that's all well and good, but what's an example of this? Well, I have one for you. Valley again, EX1. At my skill speed, there's a moment in the fight where you're doing the light party teams on C and D where you spit the fire puddles. At my skill speed, at my opener, with the rotation I just showed you guys, if you do Gecko first, it's really hard to get the Higanbana off in between these fire puddles because your GCD's rolling in an awkward time. So I started doing Kasha first on this boss. See, so here's the pull. Kasha first GCD. Then I do the opener from there, right? Got the potion up and everything else. Okay. Now, let's look later in the same pull. So we're at like 636 right now on the VOD. Now we're at 638. Going into this light party phase. So we're entering the 2-minute burst. This is 2 minutes into the fight. I got my 3 Sen. Senai's about to come off cooldown. Zanshin's ready. I just Iki Shotend. I just Mechio'd. I'm about to Midare. Tendo Kaishi Midare. Use the Senai. Use the Zanshin. Do a Kasha, and then it's going to be time to put on Higanbana. And I have to put on the Higanbana there, or else it's misaligned forever, right? I have to do it. Now watch. Watch how tight this is. There's the Tendo, there's the Senai, there's the Zanshin. Okay, we move out of the fire puddle. I'm casting the Bana. The other fire puddle's down. Now I'm gonna slide cast out of here. I barely make it out on time without taking the oh, oops. We went back way too far. But you see what I mean, right? I barely make it out on time without getting that dot from standing in the puddle too long. If I was slower, and that's because I think I did Kasha first, and I got my skill speed buff up faster. If I don't do Kasha first on this fight, sometimes I have to just walk through that puddle and do nothing because Higanbana needs to be my next GCD, but I don't have time because I'm gonna get that dot and then the healers might let me die, right? Because I'm not supposed to get a dot by standing in the fire puddle. So, my second tip for you, my first tip was try to hit multiple things with your Shohas and your Zanshins if able, because you have a little flexibility with when you use those. My second tip is you don't have to always do Gecko first. You can do Kasha first, but only if there's a reason that you specifically need a GCD to be a little bit faster. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, I mean, these were kind of tricks, but tip number 3 is, it's not really a trick, it's just a tip, it's a reminder. Use Tengetsu, aka Third Eye. Really focus on maximizing these. When you guys get the fight down, the number one way you can improve, once you've got the basics down, once you can kill without messing up the mechanics, once you guys feel like your uptime is 100%, you're not stalling GCDs, you're not missing GCDs, you're constantly rolling your GCD start to finish in the fight, and you're looking for another way to improve, look to your Tengetsu. This is a log where I got a 99 percentile. I got a top 1% performance on this log. Can I show that? Yeah, so I got a 99 here on EX1, right? I hit, if you go to analyze and you go to buffs here and scroll down to uncategorized, Tengetsu's Foresight, I hit 12 of them. That means that was 12 successful third eyes. And listen, I'm no master at it. I could have done better for sure, but that's 12. Each one gives me 10 Kenki when hit. You know how much potency 10 Kenki gets you? 100 potency. So if I got 120 Kenki from 12 Tengetsus, 10 apiece, that's 120 Kenki. That's 1,200 potency worth of Kenki if spent on Shintens or Gyotens. 1,200 potency? Bro, that is more than an extra Tendo Setsugeka worth of potency that I got throughout the fight by trying my damnedest to Tengetsu every single time I took damage. And not having a full Kenki bar while I did it. So, aspiring samurai parsers out there, use Tengetsu! This can get you more damage than you think over a 8-9 minute fight. And with that, this samurai rough and ready guide comes to a close. I hope this helped you guys out, man. Here I tried to discuss the changes for patch 7.01. I tried to show you guys the most important points of the Icy Vein guide. I tried to talk about my gear, my skill speed. Oh, my melds I didn't talk too much about in this video. There is a best in slot section on the Icy Veins guide for Samurai. They have 7.0 section and they show some melds here. You're gonna see they meld Det and Crit a lot. Det is performing really well as a substat. Just gonna sneak this here into the end of our tips and tricks section. Det is way better than it used to be in Stormblood. I'm not sure how good. I didn't play as much in late Shadowbringers and Endwalker, but Det seems to have gotten buffed, dude. This is performing pretty well for a substat. So I have this exact set plus the 710 helmet and boots from normal raids I got today. Anyway, so my debt's pretty high. But anyway, so we talked about what I've gotten done in the game, patch notes. We talked about the Icy Veins guide and all the useful resources you can get from here. We showed you guys the opener, the odd minute burst, the even minute burst, all demonstrated for you. And we showed you some tips on how to better use Shoha Zanshin, how you can use Kasha first sometimes, only if it is called for, but how it can really help you. And how Third Eye is boss. Besides that, my dudes, I think we're good to go. Let me know if this video helped you in the comment section below. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them as well. I do read the comments and try to respond to them when I feel like I can have a positive impact. And I hope the video helped, dude. Like I said, I don't claim to be the best, but I hope that I can just help it. I feel like I've gotten to a pretty good place in the game with my samurai, and my mission is just to help you guys get to where I did. So if I can do it, I want you to be able to do it. By the way, I do a lot of this stuff live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Faros. Link will be in the description below of this video, and I hope you click that description, click that link, give me a follow on Twitch, subscribe here on YouTube. You'll see lots more samurai content coming. I'm gonna put out some optimized kill videos of EX1 and EX2 soon, the normal raids, and we're gonna be live streaming and playing all day and night like crazy once Savage drops, doing Savage raiding in the Party Finder. Also, I know right now I've been focused on samurai gameplay, but I found a second love in Final Fantasy XIV. See the Samurai I-706? We got a Reaper coming up, boys. I-705 right behind him. Reaper is so sick. Let me know in the comments if you want some Reaper content coming soon, because I have been loving this job as well, and I'm excited to try to get as good at this as I have with Sam. It's a tall order, but I'm gonna try. All right, for real, that's it. I'm heading off. Almost a 30-minute rough and ready guide here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you on my Twitch channel live and on the next YouTube video. And until then, /goodbye. Take care, y'all. See you soon.